Nike was all set to release a patriotic shoe just in time for Independence Day. That is, until anthem-kneeler Colin Kaepernick complained and Nike bailed. The response from the Arizona governor to that situation is priceless. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had a major meltdown on the border, and her comments are just beyond words. And the New York Times thinks America is not actually that great. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, we're going to get to Colin Kaepernick, but first, I've got to tell you about my friends over at Bottle Breacher. They make some great stuff. I've got these whiskey coolers with my last name on them. They're really cool. Just go over to bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code Bobby13-A1 for 20% off your next Made in America purchase. That's bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code Bobby13-A1. All right, folks, it's 4th of July week. You know, we're coming up to Independence Day, and I always think of all the awesome stuff that brings to mind. It's patriotism. It's our independence. It's wearing red, white, and blue and celebrating. Well, Nike wanted to join in the fun as well, and they came up with a new tennis shoe. Their Nike Air Max USA, or the Betsy Ross shoe. Let's take a look at it right here. And it's already been sent to retailers. They've already had it. They were just waiting for the release this week until Colin Kaepernick. You remember him? Anthem-kneeler? Take a look.
Overnight, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick refusing to stand during the national anthem again. This time, he took a knee right behind hundreds of service members being honored on Military Appreciation Night.
Yeah, that Colin Kaepernick. He complained, and Nike listened to him and told retailers not to sell the shoe. Here's a report from the Wall Street Journal. It says, Nike Inc. is yanking a USA-themed sneaker featuring an early American flag after NFL star turned activist Colin Kaepernick told the company it shouldn't sell a shoe with a symbol that he and others consider offensive, according to people familiar with the matter. The sneaker giant created the Air Max 1 USA in celebration of the 4th of July holiday, and it was slated to go on sale this week. The heel of the sole featured a U.S. flag with the 13 white stars in a circle, a design created during the American Revolution and commonly referred to as the Betsy Ross flag. All right, so Colin Kaepernick, he considers that to be offensive. All right, he considers that to be no good, and they listen to him. They put weight on what he has to say when he thumbs his nose at everything that America represents. Here's more from the Wall Street Journal. After shipping the shoes to retailers, Nike asked them to be returned without explaining why, the sources said. The shoes aren't available on Nike's own apps and websites. Nike has chosen not to release the Air Max 1 Quick Strike 4th of July as it featured the old version of the American flag, a Nike spokeswoman said. After images of the shoe were posted online, Mr. Kaepernick, a Nike endorser, reached out to the company officials saying that he and others feel the Betsy Ross flag is an offensive symbol because of its connection to an era of slavery. Oh my gosh. So see, it's just absolutely stunning. We declare our independence. We have a revolution so that we can be free, and so people like him can speak out, make millions, and he's the one complaining, and Nike listens to him. Nike bails. So this corporate giant ran into a buzzsaw in the form of Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. Take a look at what Ducey tweeted out yesterday. It's just amazing. Today was supposed to be a good day in Arizona with the announcement of a major Nike investment in Goodyear, Arizona. And then the news broke yesterday afternoon. Words cannot express my disappointment at this terrible decision. I am embarrassed for Nike. Nike is an iconic American brand and American company. This country, our system of government, and free enterprise have allowed them to prosper and flourish. Instead of celebrating American history the week of our nation's independence, Nike has apparently decided that Betsy Ross is unworthy and has bowed to the current onslaught of political correctness and historical revisionism. It's a shameful retreat for the company. American businesses should be proud of our country's history, not abandoning it. So that was awesome. He laid it out, but he decided to go a step further, and this is where I really would like you guys to jump in the comments and let me know what you think. Here's some follow-up tweets that the governor made. He said, Nike has made its decision, and now we're making ours. I've ordered the Arizona Commerce Authority to withdraw all financial incentive dollars under their discretion that the state was providing for the company to locate here. And then he continued with another tweet that says, Arizona's economy is doing just fine without Nike. We don't need to suck up to companies that consciously denigrate our nation's history. So, wow, that is quite a statement. And maybe it's a financial hit to Arizona. So did he do the right thing? Did he stick up for his people, if this means other jobs or what? Or did he take the proper stand? I figure I really like it because, I mean, like you said, if Arizona's doing just fine, there's no reason to put up with this kind of politically correct nonsense. I mean, have some guts, it's just a shoe. It's a shoe with the flag from the American Revolution. It's just, it's insane what people deal with these days. And speaking of insane, I want to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because remember, we talked about her on Monday and how she actually stepped forward and said Ivanka Trump was unqualified to handle negotiations or represent the U.S. at the G20 summit. Unqualified. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called someone unqualified. Just think about that. But that wasn't even the highlight of her week, okay? And it's only Wednesday. She made a trip to the border with about 14 other Democrats from the House to actually check out the facilities down there since she complains about them all the time. And then she just went wild with some of the things she said. Here's a report from the Washington Examiner. The group of 14 House Democrats was standing inside the station near an area where migrants were held when Ocasio-Cortez left them to sit inside a nearby holding area with the family as the other lawmakers and aides were briefed on station operations. She comes out screaming at our agents right at the beginning of the tour, crying and screaming and yelling, said one witness, who said she was stunned by the outburst in front of approximately 40 people. The agents, they wanted to respond, but they held back because she's a congressional delegate. But when you have someone yelling at you in a threatening manner, the same person said, they were like, hey, you kind of need to step back. All right, so she just made these accusations. She acted like that. And then, of course, she went straight to the media to lay it out there for them and her reactions to her so-called tour. Here's part of what she said.
They put them in a room with no running water, and these women were being told by CBP officers to drink out of the toilet. They were drinking water out of the toilet, and that was them knowing a congressional visit was coming. This is CBP on their best behavior, telling people to drink out of the toilet.
Did you see somebody actually do that?
Wow, so forcing them to drink water out of toilets. That's her claim. And when asked, she didn't even comment if she actually saw it, but that's what she was claiming because someone in there whispered it to her. I mean, or she just, it makes me very doubtful that, especially when you hear the responses that we'll get to in a little bit, that this is actually going on. No one is forced to drink water from toilets. If someone doesn't understand the wording, if the sink, as you've probably seen pictures in some of these facilities, the sink is actually built on top of the toilet. And if someone doesn't understand English, I can see some stuff getting screwed up. But to say that they are forced to drink it is just totally irresponsible. And then she added this. Check this out.
In that last facility, I was not safe from the officers in that facility.
Seriously? She is on a government-sponsored trip with government officials, other congressional members, and she says she's unsafe. I mean, talk about some kind of soundbite. It's just absolutely outrageous. So, of course, tons of people came out, officials, pastors who have gone to the border. There's story after story saying her description is not correct. She didn't even take the full actual tour, yet she's on there in the media, on Twitter, blasting them. The Fox News talked to the deputy commissioner of the Border Patrol, and he said that water is available to anyone who's staying there. They make the accommodations to do the best they can. And then he pointed out the clear no-brainer in all of this. Here's what he said.
These are facilities that were never designed to hold migrants for the duration that we've had to hold them, and in the numbers at times 200, 300, or 400% beyond capacity. We've been speaking to this crisis for the better part of 18 months.
So see, the situation is, it's just untenable. It's overrun because the Democrats and the left have encouraged this. When Trump was saying that there was a crisis at the border for months and months and months, they went after him. They said he's inflaming the situation. They said it's a fake crisis. They blasted him. They blamed him for making the situation worse. Now it's beyond any kind of debate when 100,000 people are going to these facilities trying to get into the country illegally every single month. Now they're saying that because the system's overrun, they're blaming Trump again. So one of the other delegates, Representative Joaquin Castro, he snuck his phone in there, and I guess to try and inflame the situation or to try and prove some kind of point, he took a video of a shower at one of these facilities. Take a look at this. So my question is, what does that look like to you? To me, it looks like a shower. It's not, some five-star shower. It's a shower. It works. It's small, but it does the job. So what is he trying to prove? Yes, the detention centers have showers. Way to go. So finally, folks, again, on this Independence Week, we're about to celebrate the 4th of July tomorrow. The New York Times, in this opinion section, put out a video on Twitter that is just absolutely outrageous. They spent minutes, like over 4 minutes, I believe, knocking the United States of America, saying that it might have been the greatest country on earth before, but it's not great anymore. This is what the New York Times is actually putting out this week. Here's a clip.
We got so caught up in the rhetoric about America being the greatest country on earth that we've long ignored the cracks in our system. And while a bit of patriotism is great, jingoism is dangerous, especially when it's built on old or fake news.
So are you kidding me? They say a little patriotism is okay. That means that small little amount that the left deems appropriate. But if you have Trump-style patriotism, man, that's bad. And then they liken Trump to spewing out fake news. It's absolutely pathetic. And here's a little bit more.
So as we gear up for another election season where politicians tell us America is great, or that it isn't, and then proceed to make it worse, let's try a more truthful approach. America may once have been the greatest, but today, America, we're just okay.
So, and then the full video goes into issue after issue after issue where other countries rank higher than America. And we've gone into this in previous shows before. I mean, take education. For one thing, the left has dominated education for decades, and look what it's done for us. I mean, our students come out dumber and dumber and dumber. They know less and less about core history and math and science, all this feel-good, politically correct stuff. And then the other things they always want to talk about are things like healthcare, obesity, lifespan, things like that. And that's the byproduct of a free society. You can choose to eat what you want. If it's healthy, you'll be lean. If it's unhealthy, you might get fat and you might not live as long. But those are the benefits from living in the freest country in the world. So shame on the New York Times for doing that. It's so bad, so inappropriate, and especially this week. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends. And when you subscribe, please hit that bell. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, just a little reminder before you go, and no, this does not count against my 13 minutes. Please hit the subscribe button below and tell your friends. And if you happen to miss our last show, you can check it out right here. And also for great conservative news and commentary, please check out GOPUSA.com. All right, folks, we'll see you on the next show. Have a great day.